In our midst today, we have a poet. I really fixed this topic today to correspond with what I wanted to do with him today. This topic about disinformation, and uh, and the only way to combat information is preserving information. And the way our ancestors have preserved information is through oral. That's telling stories, and telling stories also entails spoken words. Spoken words is a form of passing informations and talking. So Mackenzie is a spoken word artist and writer, poet, and he is working on a book that's supposed. I don't know if it is published now, but it's about to be published. A book about on spoken words, and I wanted to bring him front and center here today for him to present himself to us and read some of his spoken words, and then we can all analyze and give feedback and ask questions and all the stuffs like that. But I don't know if the numbers we are having on the panel right now is enough for it, or if you want to go for it, or if you want to wait. So let me have Mackenzie speak, or if he thinks we should wait till later or now.
I don't mind starting now because remember, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Alphabets.
Good morning. Good morning.
Because I remember we had rendezvous for 7 o'clock this morning.
Yes.
Yeah, so thank you, Alphabets. And I did check your website out, which was alphabets.com, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and
But it's going
but
through the
you
construction
said
right
it's
now.
not finished yet.
It's running before, so they are refurbishing it. We are just doing some work on it right now.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not posting so much anymore because I want to give them a chance to redesign. They're doing the redesigning of the interface right now.
Oh, okay. I understand.
Mm, mm.
Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Mackenzie the Poet, and Mackenzie spelled Mackenzy. And if you spell Mackenzie wrong, you would not find me on the internet or in the records. You need to spell Mackenzie correctly. Like again, Mackenzie the Poet, and I have started writing poetry at like 15 years old, and I already published 4 poetry books so far. In 2015, I published my first poetry book, which was The Legacy of My Poems, The Sons of a King. And then 2016, I published my second poetry book, which was My
Mackenzie,
Psalms.
why is your background so loud?
Oh, that's because I'm outside in the
Okay,
backyard. I didn't want to be inside. I don't want to, interrupt anyone, and I don't want anyone to interrupt me.
go ahead.
Yeah, so like I was saying, I published my first poetry book in 2015, which was The Legacy of My Poems, The Psalms of a King. And in 2016, I published my second poetry book, which was My Psalms. The Psalms in the Bible. I just wrote My Psalms. I just created my own. It's called My Psalms. And then my third poetry book, 2019, which was A Beautiful Life Well Lived. And 2025, I kind of went a different way. I went with Friends with Benefits. And I know that people doesn't like to read, so that's why I had to make an effort to spend money to publish poetry albums. So I have published 2 poetry albums so far. The first one the title is Can I Be President of the USA? And the second poetry album, the first one was published in November of 2025. And then the second poetry album was published in January 2026 this year. So the first poetry album is Can I Be President of the USA? And then the second poetry album is Home Will Always Be Home. And you don't have to go search on the internet to find everything. Everything's already set up on my website, which is MackenzieThePoet.com. Again, Mackenzy, and then thepoet.com. And you can find all my social media. And I already set up all the pages and everything's set up. So it's easy to find. But if you don't go, you never know what's in my head. I have compiled some poetry books that poetry poems that I want to share with you guys. And God forbid, you were talking about the new book. The new book didn't come
Yeah.
out yet. I've already
Okay.
paid for everything. And I already submitted my manuscript.
Why you not publishing directly through Amazon Kindle?
No, that's the thing. I had experience with them. When you
Okay.
publish with them, yes, they do not charge you anything. But when you sell, they take most of the profit. You get like cents back. That's why I tried it twice, and I didn't like the experience.
Okay.
Yeah,
Before you go, I have a
yeah,
question. I heard something I had to fire because
sure,
you said something and two things you said, two words can jump out of what you said, and
sure.
it's kind of shows me your it's I don't know. I'm gonna it tells me your direction of your mind or your perspective. First of all, the first question is, can I be the president?
Of the USA, yes.
What's what's the thoughts behind it? And two, something with home. What do you said about home?
Yeah, I said home will always be home.
Home will always be home. Can you tell? Can you explain and can you give us a preview on what's on your mind
You will
with
find everything
combining
because
those two things together?
okay, do not jump ahead of a surprise. All right, everything will be answered to all the poems that I have published. I want to share with you guys. Everything will
All right,
be
go ahead.
answered. So, do you want the titles first, or do you want me to just go on and share titles of each poem?
Go ahead and share. Somebody's asking in the comment section how many sales. I don't know what they mean. Go ahead anyway.
All right, the first poem I'm about to share with you guys, it's called "Blood of Africa." Are you ready, Afrobeats? Is everyone ready?
Yes, we are. If you guys are ready, please just if you're ready, just can you just type one in the comment section? Let's just type one in the comment section. People in the comment section, people on the panel, just give us one. Let's see one that we are ready for him. Yes, I see a lot of. I'm seeing ones. Yes. I think we are ready for you. Just go. Let's go.
Great. The first poem is called "Blood of Africa." The blood of Africa running through my veins. Being labeled as a house slave instead of a field slave, even though I could have easily been a field slave while slavery was enacted, the travesty of slavery, the pain hurts and lasts for centuries. Even in my lifetime, it won't go away. Yes, we can decrease it through education, movies, books, and experiences and lessons, but it won't go away. The blood of Africa running through my veins. It's frustrating trying to pinpoint exactly which country in Africa that my ancestors are from. Which country, which location, which area, I don't know. But if I had to choose out of all the countries in Africa, I would choose Ghana. I don't know why. I would choose Ghana. Yep. Thank you. That was the first poem.
Okay, do we do it this way? Do we ask questions first of all? Do we ask questions or comments about this? Does anybody have a question or something you want to say to him?
Okay, so my question would be, at the end of the poem, you said you will choose Ghana, but you don't know why. But the premise to coming to Ghana, I think you probably laid it ahead when you said, I don't know why. I think you said, I don't know why I'm a field slave as opposed to be a house slave. Could that be a nod to the door of no return, as opposed to not knowing, but you want your readers or audience in this case to sort of think about tying those two notes together, i.e., the door of no return and the fact that you don't quite know. So you're leaving the center as a space for people to make up their minds as to what you are trying to allude to.
Okay, because while I'm living in this life, I've been analyzing myself, and everything that happens, I take notes, and then I take the memory in my head. And I said I could have easily, I could have been labeled as a house slave instead of a field slave, even though I could have been easily a field slave while slavery was enacted, because two different environments, different countries, and different weather, my skin color kind of changes. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Mackenzie,
Yeah.
what do you think? How do you think people, the likes of the FBAs who are trying to delineate, will unpack this poem, the poem that you just read now?
They try. Remind me what the FBA is again?
Foundational Black Americans. Some of them that they are delineating and said, okay, we are not from Africa. We have no lineage with Africa. How do you think this will unpack? How do you think they will unpack this if this is presented to them?
Well, I gotta. I don't know if this is gonna answer the question, but something happened to me recently at work. So I'm currently a security guard, and so I was talking to a friend of mine, and he's a Black American, and because I was telling him about this woman who's half Black American and half Puerto Rican, and I was telling him her father is African American and her mother is Puerto Rican, and she came out taking the mother color, the Puerto Rican mother, and then some of the siblings take the father color, the African American color, and then he was like, don't call me no African American. Don't say African American. I'm not African American either. I'm a Black American. I was like, isn't that the same thing? He's like, no, it's not. And then I presented the same issue with another Black American. The other one, since that's what people use nowadays, I have to use the language people use. The first one was a dark-skinned African American, and I presented the same thing to a light-skinned African American. I talked to both of them, to a light-skinned African American, and he said, we're not African. That's why he said, I'm not African. Don't say African American. It's not the same thing. Say Black American. And he said, because the light skinned African American said, because we had never been to Africa, even though through research like thousands of years ago, we could find blood there. But he said, we had never been to Africa, so we're not African American, we're just Black American. That's what he says. I was like, is it not the same thing? He said, nope, not the same thing. So I just backed off. So does that answer
All
your
right.
question?
Yeah, it does. Does anybody still have any other question before we move to the next poem? We'll give this time to Mackenzie. We'll let him just go through his poems and we ask questions. So Mackenzie, if anybody has any other question, if not, let's move on to the next.
Great. Excuse me. The second poem that I'm going to share is called Africa, the Motherland. I'm going to ask again. Are you guys ready?
Yes, I guess we are ready. I think we'll do the one thing again. If anybody's ready in the comment section, let's do a one. Let's do a one. Let's do a one. This is one. Let's do a one. If you are ready, just put one in the comment section. I'm going to put my own one now. Don't mind us. This is to show our level of concentration. Okay, that means we are paying attention. Go ahead, McKinsey. Why the ones keep flowing in?
Okay. The second poem is called Africa, the Motherland. Oh, Africa, you are the motherland. For all people with African blood in your DNA, honor the motherland by honoring your ancestors. Many of us were born in other countries because of our ancestors being stolen from Africa, the motherland, by using slave ships to bring our ancestors abroad in another land. Yes, we do have a stolen identity. We forgot who we are. Like, for example, our mother tongue that we used to speak, we can't speak it anymore. We can't speak it. We have to speak the oppressor's language. That hurts. Especially when, if it's a European who makes a language, who makes a way of speaking, they call it a language. But if it's a non-European way of speaking, they call it a dialect. Even the Native Americans, they call it a dialect. To me, all languages are languages. Stop calling it dialect. That's just my take. Even though I have never been to Africa yet. Oh, Africa, I miss you. Africa, you are so diverse. Your children all over the world miss you. You have children in Puerto Rico, Cuba, Guatemala, Jamaica, Trinidad, Dominican Republic, India, Trinidad and Tobago, United States of America, Canada, Martinique, Japan, China, Guadeloupe, even Mexico, Haiti, Brazil, Ecuador, El Salvador, Honduras, France, Germany, England, Colombia, even Israel, etc. Many of our children are so diverse. Yes, there's different type of Africans. Yes, it is so diverse. Some Africans look black. Some Africans look white. Some look mixed. Some look Asian. Some look Indian. Some look Arab. Some look Hispanics. No matter what color they look like, they are still your children. Africa, the motherland, we all miss you. Oh, Africa, I personally miss you. Your children would like to visit you one day. I would like to visit you one day. Africa, the motherland, Africa, the beautiful. You have so many beautiful things to explore in this land. Africa, you have so many countries. I know a lot of people love to say Africa, but Africa is a continent. There's so many countries in there. There's so many cultures, so many nationalities. Africa, you have so many countries for us to explore. There are many countries in Africa such as Algeria, Liberia, Egypt, Nigeria, South Africa, Zimbabwe, Djibouti, Ivory Coast, Lesotho, Ghana, Morocco, Nigeria. What else? There's Egypt too. What else? There's Lesotho, and etc. All the African countries must unite and look out for each other. Africa, the motherland, we miss you. Africa, I miss you. I want to visit you one day. All the different countries. Thank you.
Ausgestattete Couch online bestellen kann, zu einem Preis, der sogar unter dem eines gebrauchten Autos liegt, und dass es dann nur wenige Wochen später direkt vor der Haustür steht, würden viele wahrscheinlich denken, das sei nichts weiter als
Hello.
Okay, do we have question for that?
Mackenzie,
Yes, sir.
great pieces there. Keep up the. The question I have for you is that do you have a target audience with your
Me?
listing? Because because I'm also a poet myself, and I'm also a musician, but I only do gospel poetry. But I would like to know. I would like to know whether you do have a target audience or is generally
Well, the
just
thing
a
is,
general.
I speak on different issues since this is Afro-based Germany channel, so I have to bring poems that relates mostly to the African diaspora and and people in Africa. That's what I'm relating to. Many of my poems, but I have different topics uh, concerning different issues and different experiences that I have and different lessons that I've learned. Yeah.
Okay, but do you have generally do you have a target audience?
Target audience?
Yes,
Um,
with your poetry.
I would say from 18 and up, because I have to say that because if you go buy one of my books and then you listen to the whole thing, there might be things that you need to be. There are things that are for children and stuff, But if you go with the whole book, there might be things in there that I don't want to be blamed for your parents saying he's saying some explicit things, blah 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 blah, So yeah, 18 and up. Well, the thing is, to get these poems, it's a compilation of poems for different time, like different years that I've written those poems, and I put them together, and then I decide to table of contents, which one go first, which one's the second. But there's different dates that I put it together. My mind works a different way. I don't know how I put it together, but like for example, I could have written a poem, say 2015, right? And then I read another poem, say 2025, and then so I put the 15 and the 25 together in one book, and then you have to figure out which one came first, which one came second. Yeah, because I might have part of the answer, a question at first, and I get the question, I get the answer years later. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
I get what you are trying to say. Have you performed? Just two questions. Have you performed a stage on stages before? And then the second question is, how many minutes? For example, this particular one you read, how many minutes is the total poem? If you perform it, how many minutes is it in total? Have you performed in like a big stage, or what are the kind of stages you've had the opportunity to visit and perform yourself? Okay.
Yes, I have performed in different venues, different stages, different excuse me. But I've started at my parents' church in Elizabeth, New Jersey. That's where I started at 15 years old. If you want to know the story of how I started, it's a funny story. I'll tell you. But if you don't want to know, then that's fine with me. But the thing is, yeah.
You can go ahead.
Oh, you want to know the story?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and by the way, depending on how I'm feeling, I may go long, like different poems, like a lot of poems in one day, and then another time I may go, I pick short amount of poems, and you can find many of my performances on my social media and on my YouTube and also on my website. I put it all together. And yeah, again, my website is McKenzieThePoet.com, MSCKNZY, thepoet.com. And if people don't know how to spell The Poet, it's THE and then Poet, POET. So and if you don't know how to spell .com, which is the period, and then COM, there are people who don't know. So it's McKenzieThePoet.com. Yeah. To get to the story of about how I started writing poetry. So I was writing my parents' church was having a event. So the youth was having an event. It was called the Red Affair, and it was called the Red Affair. It was for Valentine's Day, and people, and they were asking for youth and other people who wants to volunteer to perform, to come up with something to share on stage. So I didn't know I was a poet back then. So I volunteered. I'm like, let me share something. So I went back and I wrote a long freaking speech. Excuse my language. I wrote a long speech, and I started sharing while they were when it was time to audition. And they were like, "Ooh, this is too long, man. Go back, man." So I went back, and then I shortened it. I picked out the highlighted words, like the most important words. I picked it out, and then I went back on stage again after other people went too. So I gave it a second shot, and after I shared it, they were like, "That's it, that's a poem." I was like, "Really? Okay." So so when it was time for me to perform, so I went on and performed, and well, when I was because I memorized it, I memorized it to perform it. So that's why I don't memorize poems anymore, because I don't want to forget. It gets stuck. That's the lesson I learned. That's just me. So when I was about to finish the poem, I forgot the end of the poem. So I was on stage, and our audience was looking at me, and there was a lady. I remember her face, and I remember and then her name too. And since she was like, she said it in Haitian Creole. She said it. He's choking. He's choking. He's choking. And then she thought I couldn't hear her. I heard everything she said, and then thank God I remembered, and I finished the poem. And then afterwards, afterwards, the audience, the youth, the grown-ups, the adults, because they had to pay to come to the event, because the youth gotta have a budget too. So they came, and then each of them congratulated me, and then they were like, "Keep going." They give me positive feedback, and they were like, "We love your performance. You were the best performance of the night." And they hated all the youth event, because the youth came and they performed something about a pimp out of church. They did a pimp performance, and the other girls were like, "Oh." Does that answer your question, sir? Hello?
Hello.
Mackenzie, you want to do the next poem?
Yeah, sure.
Then we'll take a break, have a conversation, then we'll come back again, we'll do the rest. So
Okay.
we'll keep that others into-
So, Kim Sammy, did that answer your question?
Yes, you did. You did a lot.
Okay.
You did a lot. It answers why. The same how your story is like similar to mine. But maybe later on I'll just give you a bit of my own, just 1 or 2 minutes.
Oh, okay. The second poem is it's called "Home Will Always Be Home." Again, are you guys ready?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, we are ready. Go ahead.
Okay. You want to do that same thing again? Just the one? So, people would keep live active.
All right, guys, if we are paying attention, let's do a one again. Let's do a one on the comment section. Let's do a one. Let's just drop one in the comment section. If you're listening and you're ready, let's do a one, everybody. Let's see our attention pound. Yes, one. Let's go. If you're ready, if you're listening, those in the comment section. Yes, I see a number of ones. Go ahead, Mackenzie.
Okay. This poem is called "Home Will Always Be Home." Home will always be home. I say it again. Home will always be home. You can speak about it as badly as you want. Home will always be home. Ou te met rail jan vle. Home will always be home. The word rai means hate. You can hate it as badly as you want. Home will always be home. Ou te met sali jan vle. You can dirty it all you want. Home will always be home. You can slap the heck out of it all you want. Home will always be home. You will always be someone from home. You can even live and reside in another country. You will always be someone from home. You can even pretend that you don't speak the native tongue, the Haitian Creole. You will always be someone from home. If you know how to drink pumpkin soup, which is the independent freedom soup, home will always be home. If you know how to eat rice and sauce pois, home will always be home. You are someone from home. If you know that May 18 is Flag Day, which is blue and red, home will always be home. But I would like to change the color of the flag. I have personal reasons. If you remember that blood was spilled to get January 1st, 1804, you are someone from home. The minister can give cholera increasingly to the people. If you know what minister is, go do some research. Home will always be home. Home will always stay home. Well, you have no choice. You can go live in space. You can go live underwater. You can go live underwater. That's not gonna turn you into a mermaid. You cannot separate yourself from home, because no matter what happens, home will always be home. Thank you. Any questions?
All right, Mackenzie.
Yes.
Let me ask if anybody have a question to the last point that you just wrote now. If nobody have a question for that, I will let's go back to the prompt a bit, have a discussion with the prompt. Let's relate it to everything you have said now. I want us to have a discussion on the prompt and then connect it to Mackenzie's poem. Let's connect it in the way like what Mackenzie did right now is passing information. So let's look at it how information are hidden in ancient African poetries and spoken words. How informations are preserved through this art of spoken words, and how that has been able to survive the disinformation that is now. So let me start with Sadiq. Sadiq, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. You want to speak on that?
Yeah, the history when it comes to the passing of information, especially we Africans, we are orally and we pass it through poems and riddles, and we pass through to many means to our children. But the thing is, the biggest misinformation that's been taught is illiterate, and we're being called illiterate because we don't write it in symbols and write it down and pass it down, and we've been looked down upon, and especially this Western civilization, they put value on writing because writing is just a symbol. You write down the information in terms of symbols, and because of that, they 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 took away that power and culture of people, and they demonized it and said Africans are illiterate, and they need to be educated. And that's the biggest misinformation, because education, what it is passing of information, and passing what your ancestors knows. Like example, Africans, they know weather. Now we have weather in the Western civilization. There's meteorologist, but we have our own meteorologist. And because of those information that was passed to us, and they made us not like our information, because you have to learn how to write and read, and you have to learn how to pass this information their way, and that's why it led to the disruption of information from our history. So I would say that uh, education, especially the way they brought us to Africa, was all misinformation. They said Africa, they talk about civilization. That's the biggest misinformation. They say civilization. They say Africa is uncivilized. You see that? Uncivilization. Why is Africa uncivilized? Because it lacks history. No. History is there. They ignore it to know about the history of Africa. They don't want to know about African history. They are literally denying that they stole the artifacts. They stole a lot of things from Africa. They put it in the museum as a valuables. But at the same time, they want us to deny that history. They want to say, "Oh, you don't have history." Okay, if Africa doesn't have history, why do you have the African artifacts in your museums? Why do you display where everyone see it? It's valuable to you, but you don't want to bring it back so that the Africans can see what their ancestors did, what their ancestors were capable of doing it, because when it comes to sculpture, when it comes to art, when it comes to the most famous one, Picasso. Look at Picasso arts. Where does Picasso get the idea of drawing those things? It's from Africa. Look at his art. But Picasso is one of the, for them, they say, oh, Picasso is the best artist. But Africans, they don't give it. They don't give it to Africans because Africans are the great artists, but they are not given their dues because of misinformation. So that's what we as an African don't have a control of our own narrative. We don't have our intellectuals who can come together and say that, you know what, we have to safeguard our history, our culture, our arts, and present it all. But there's good information about African writers. Like I've read about Nigeria, Chinua Achebe, Wole Soyinka. There's a lot of artists, a lot of writers came with reviving the history of Africa that pass it through the generations, and that's what we did. We need those guys to come and create a place, a conducive environment where the young African can discover their creativity, because we do have a lot of creation, but the thing is, it's what their narrative, they want to say about Africa. Africa can speak for itself. I'll say that Africa can speak for itself. No African needs a translation. We don't want to lose it. We don't want it to be lost in their own translation, because that's what we hear. We hear third party when it comes to Africa. Who talks about Africa? Not Africans. Other people talks about Africans. But we as an Africa should take charge of our narrative and say, hey, you're an African. Why are you speaking about Africa? Let me or the other Africans tell you what Africa is. So I'll say that. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Very good. Very good. And yeah,
Lucy, I was just sitting here
yeah,
and I was thinking about the art of disinformation and confusing information. You
yeah,
know, and I'm watching. I was looking at the pictures of ancient Egyptians. You know how they preserved information in concrete, in stones. Understand me?
yeah,
Imagine imagine now that the Europeans are now, because those people, they left information in terms of their futures on stone, so we know these people are black people, even though they try to disinform us and tell us these people are not black people. So I'm now looking at it now that these Europeans are doing a lot of plastic surgeries, fixing their lips, fixing their eyes, fixing their. Imagine in the nearest future they would have created futures that would confuse us more if these people are black or not. Don't you think so?
yeah. You see, here what happened. As we talked about information, what they did, especially in Egypt. Well, we know who are the Egyptians. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to know who are the Egyptians. As a matter of fact, a lot of people didn't know that Egypt was conquered in the 6th century. Before then, you had the Hyksos, you had the Byzantine, many other the Assyrians. Many of them tried to invade Egypt, and many of them but the general quest was that of General Amr, who conquered Egypt in the 6th century. That was like a 3-year war, right? 638 to 641 battle, brutal war, right? Many people lose their life in the process. And then the quest to whiten Egypt, right, was very adamant. As a matter of fact, very strong to whiten Egypt, to take over the territory, because that was the most developed area in Africa at that period of time, including Timbuktu in Mali and many other areas, right? But the push was very, very intense. And information, because it is obscured, many of us don't know our history. And some of us fail to read, because by the time you come out of university or secondary education, you are into the work stream. You become a laborer. It's not. It's one of the things that also to affect us: financial literacies, critical thinking theories, understand science, understand biology. All of these things are information that is critical to compose and analyze structures within your own environment and further field. To create that awareness in you to understand the nature of engagement and what is transpiring around the world. Information in Egypt, that the reason why they destroyed the nose of most of those statues and sphinx is to ensure that the craft, the image, because image is enshrined in imagination. You hear what I'm saying? Image is enshrined in imagination. And imagination is incorporated with information. Because your mind was informed. It may not be factual, but it was informed based on observation, based on specific narrative, or based on idea. And these imagination come to your mind. If there are words written behind these imagination, then it can create a channel of information to chart an ideology or a culture. And that's why it's very important that we understand how these things are being used And as a matter of fact, information can be used to influence or control large groups of people in many ways: political, economical, social, and psychological. This has happened throughout history. But digital technology and social media have amplified dramatically some major method controlling the narrative when government, media, organization, corporation, or influential group shape which story are emphasized or ignored. They influence how people perceive reality. Repeating a certain fear or threat, framing events emotionally rather than factually, selective reporting, simplifying complex issue into us versus them. This is something called agenda setting or framing in media studies. Propaganda. Propaganda is information designed primarily to pursue rather than to inform. Historically, during the WW2, many governments used posters, films, and radio to change or shape public opinion. Totalitarian regimes often control newspaper, education, art to maintain power. Modern propaganda can spread through viral social media posts, influencers, coordinated online campaigns, emotionally charged headlines. Algorithm and attention manipulating. Social media platforms use algorithms that prioritize contents likely to keep people engaged. Emotionally divisive, shocking, or fear-based content often spread fastest. And Afrobase, you understand how these things work, right? Like how the doula in South Africa and then the media in South Africa has been played almost a year or more. And then the narrative become emotionalized. And then what happened? They realize the agenda. This is how you set people up to fail. This is how you destroy people as a group, through information. Information is critical. Education system is function under information. It is the pro bono or the foundation to which a child or any young people attain the highest level of information. And this is where we sometimes are failing the young people, because they are only acting based on informed ideology or information that has been given to them under our nose without really realizing what is transpiring. And that's why it's important that we continue the process of informing people, having these conversations intensely to ensure that whatever we do, we inform those who are willing to learn or those who are not aware of certain things to become aware, to become informed on these subject matters, which is critical. I'm saying this to say that many of our people, as a matter of fact, the majority of Africans can tell you about Muhammad. The majority of Africans can tell you about Jesus. But ask them about their ancestors. Ask them about the how many ships they used to transfer or ship Africans out of the continent. Ask them about the breeding farms in different African countries. Ask them about the breeding farm in the Americas. Ask them about the issue again, challenges that Africans face in Argentina, the Bolivarian War. Ask them about the freedom fighters in the Caribbean, in Haiti, in Guyana, in Trinidad, in Jamaica. Ask them about the Africans that started the smelting of iron in Jamaica. Ask them about the Africans who were smelting in Tanzania and many other places. They don't have these information because history has been obscured and pushed by the people who colonize you. And the easy way to control the people is to colonize their minds. Once the minds is colonized, it is easy to control them because it creates a defensive mechanism. Religion also plays an integral role in retaining the level of colonization, because you can show anyone the image of Jesus as a white guy and everyone hold on to that, because image creates an imagination, And imagination incurred so much things that comes after that. It induced the inferiority complex. And if your God look like your enemy, then Stockholm Syndrome will play an integral part because it's information. And your mind have to navigate itself between these challenges. And also it create the patrimony to those who control the minds. And that's why information is critical. It is imperative that we understand how we are going to chart a course, not for ourselves, but the future generation. Because information, it's all we need. As the songwriter said, you have to emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. When we look at the literatures today, how many literatures give you any insight of your history? How many literatures give you the insight of colonization? How many literature talks about house slaves and house Negroes and field Negroes? How many literatures tells you about your history? Tells you about economical empowerment, economical literacies. These are not being taught to us in an early stage. We are labor within the confines of our own home. We are almost prisoners within the confines of our environment. And thus result in us struggling to navigate ourselves through this life's journey. Can you imagine people who step on this planet first now are being imprisoned on the planet by another group of people who only stepped on this earth about 5,000 years ago? Can you imagine that? People step on this planet about 5,000 years ago and imprison those that are there for hundreds of thousands of years. As a matter of fact, almost 4 million years. And we are in prison. Now we are fighting for the little imprisonment. Oh, this is our cell. My cell is South Africa. Oh, my cell is Ghana. Oh, my cell is Tanzania. Rather than having an open plain to which you can navigate yourself throughout the sphere of your environment to create the condition to which all African brothers and sisters have that kind of symbiotic relationship within an environment that is structured for everyone to live comfortably. The oligarchic and the political class and the elites kept us in this mentally chained structure. And we are now struggling with each other, fighting and punching each other out, not realizing that our minds have been programmed. Our minds have been programmed to look at our brothers and sisters as enemy, rather than look at those who control our territory, exploit our resources. Ask yourself based on information, where are all the gold going? Is anybody bringing gold from any other continent to Africa? Is anybody bringing any diamond from any continent to Africa? This is not been happening. And sometimes I want to blame Mansa Musa. Because when he leave with the 50 tons of gold, how much tons of gold, and he went into the different nations, he shared those gold. Of course, if you walk with sugar and you drop it around the place, ants is going to come to find the source of those sugars. And that's why we are in the dilemma today. Because if all the Arab nations, they came in and they start fighting us from within. And we have been colonized for over 4,500 years ago. We've been fighting. And this is not the end of everything. It's going to continue on a grandiose scale because of information. Our people aren't being taught. And the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. And we are continuing to go through this situation without realizing what is the problem. The problem is data processing. The problem is information. The problem is understanding your condition through information so that you can take the necessary measures to change the challenges. But I just see some brothers just come up on the panel. So in closing, I want to say this, my people. And I will say it over and over until we all got it. The greatest legacy for every generation is information. Information informs the minds inform the actions. Based on those actions, based on objective reality, it will empower you. Divided we stand, divided we fall, or together we shall surely stand. Let us come together as a people. Let us not mislead the future generation, because what we are seeing today is what the seed that falls on the ground and we neglect yesterday and fail to take the necessary measures. So today we are reaping the fruit. Let us take the bull by the horn. Let us inform. Let us be truth. Let us be honest. Let us teach from objective perspective. Let us not engage in emotional rant, but objective analysis of what is transpiring, so that we can build a force that understand their objectives, understand what needs to be done, and take corrective measures to realize meaningful change. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much,
Oh,
Lucy.
Afrobeats, can I react?
Okay, Drew. After you react, we allow Mackenzie read one more poem, then we discuss it, then we go do another round of discussion, then he speaks again. Go ahead, let's hear your reaction.
Okay, before I react, can I share a bit of my poetry, just like 2 or 3 minutes of it?
No, brother, we can't do that today. We are concentrating on
Okay.
Mackenzie. We'll do yours another day. Let's do
All
Mackenzie
right, no
only today.
problem.
Please
I will
understand, yeah?
react.
Please
I will
understand.
no problem, no problem. It's just a bit of it. Then is actually related to
We can
what the
do we
guy
can
said.
do another day, but
No,
today we
no,
are.
no, 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 no.
I just don't
I'm
want
not.
to take away from Mackenzie.
Okay, all right. So I want to react to what the brother said. He has a lot of points, but there are 2 things he said: the religious part, and then the blaming side. Those are what I want to react to. And one, I want to say, yes, indeed, there is misinformation, but religion is actually more of a solution. You will disagree with me, but it is a perspective I hold, that the religion, not exactly, okay, let me put it, the message which the Christian faith profess is more of a solution rather than a problem. So you quickly see something like somebody is saying, oh, Jesus, we go into the debate of white or black Jesus. There is nowhere in the Bible or in the Christian religion where it tells you the purpose of the Christian faith is to worship a black or a white Jesus. It tells you of the power that the religion, that the faith of Christianity has to offer for humanity to save us from certain bondages.
Brother,
Okay, I'm not. That
brother.
is what it says.
But does race matter in religion?
Does race? I don't get the question.
Does race matter? Does the race of God, does the color of God or the race of
Yes,
Jesus, does it
very,
matter?
very, very good. Yeah, but we see people. Very good question. But we see people drift towards that angle, and they are very passionate about it. Which is why I say, if you go into the message, it doesn't even go that direction. It preaches love. It preaches how to live in harmony.
No, brother. God, according to religious books, God is very, very specific. Whatever God does is very specific and very intentional, isn't it?
Yes,
So
absolutely.
if He chooses to come through a particular race of people, a particular tribe of people, if He chooses to create
Now I
some
get
people
your question.
first, if He chooses to create some people first, if He chooses to speak a particular language, it is intentional. So
Okay.
does His race matter, and why did He choose any race that He chose?
I think you already answered that question, because we keep going round and round that stuff, and then we miss the whole point. Let me answer the second question he talks about, and that's let me address the second thing quickly, and that's what I keep hearing about.
Because somebody is writing in the comment section already that said God is white.
It
I think
doesn't. That is what about?
Smokeless, you want to come up and explain to us what you mean? because I've been hearing you writing, and this smokeless puts a
Yeah.
black person's face, but what she's been writing, whether she or he has been writing since yesterday, is a white mentality. So if you
You,
not
you,
defend yourself,
Afrobase, Smokeless don't believe in religion. Smokeless is trolling the guy about the thing. Smokeless.
okay,
Because
now I get it.
Impossible to throw me. I'm too enlightened to throw. Let me quickly address
No,
the second
but
part.
brother, for a person like me, I believe religion has done Africa no good.
I think otherwise.
You cannot pinpoint any tangible thing that religion has done positive for Africa. You cannot point one.
There is
If
a
you're
whole
going to
lot.
tell me, you're going to tell. Give me one example.
There is no.
I can tell you.
Uh-huh.
I can pinpoint. I can pinpoint the worst things that religion has done to us as black people. But you cannot pinpoint one thing that religion has done to African that is positive. No, brother. Okay, show me. You just give me one now. Give me one good thing that religion has done for us. One.
A platform like change what it is.
If there's a good thing, you don't need to start doing this explanation. I can tell you now. I can point to slavery. Religion brought slavery, but you cannot point to one thing. I just gave you slavery now. Point me one thing that religion has done that is positive to Africa.
What if I debunk you that it is not religion who brought slavery? It is enterprise people.
You cannot defend that because the Pope signed the slavery into law.
The Pope
You cannot
did
debunk
sign.
that.
The Pope did sign. There is enough documentary. If you give me,
Brother, hold on. The Pope signed slavery into law, so he was not authorizing
for
them.
you within the next 10 minutes. If you can give me
Okay, do
just
that.
5
Let me
or
hear
10
you.
minutes. No, I have
10
to.
minutes is too much. How do you need 10 minutes to debunk it? 10 minutes.
Yes, I don't
2
need
minutes.
about 10 minutes. I don't need about. No, I cannot. It's actually. I will give you the history and come back. Like it will take me about 10 minutes. So if you want,
Brother, listen. First, let me ask you a question. Did the Pope sign slavery into law?
he did sign slavery in the 16th.
Okay.
Indeed. Hold on. In 16th century, he did. But the question is the Pope a Christian? He may be the head of a religious body. Oh, I'm getting.
Somebody got an extra thing on the back.
So it's just like you telling me now. My father is not my parent. It's not my parent. You know, the Pope is the head of the religious Christian. The Pope is the head of the religious Christianity. That, and you are telling me he's not a Christian. What is that supposed to mean? Brother, is the Pope the head of is the Pope the head of Christianity at that point in time?
The head of a Christian body or a Christian body.
The Catholic Church was Christianity at that point in time.
That does not mean really make him.
Come on, my brother. It's just like you tell me the president of Nigeria is not a Nigerian. That's what you're trying to tell me now.
That can be. We are now debating whether Obama is a
brother, he has an American passport. He's an American. You cannot take it away from him.
He doesn't. If he's not
He's
born there.
he's an American. He has an American passport. That makes him an American.
Hold on.
Yes.
Hold on.
Come on.
have the document
let me
here.
give you this from his own Bible in 1 Peter 2:18-21. It said, "Slaves, in reverent fear of God, submit yourself to your master, not only to those who are good and considerate, but
Bro,
also to
slave
those
means
who are
anybody who is a servant. Servant. Any servant can be tagged as a slave. I can be a slave to money. I can be a slave
No,
to
brother,
my
don't
wife.
colonize, don't. No, brother.
So don't use those
properly-
verses in pieces.
No, slave is properly defined in the Bible. Don't go there. Slave is properly defined in the Bible. Slave can be bought. It is properly defined in the Bible. When it was given, telling
1 Peter
don't try to deceive us here.
1 Peter
Come on, what's wrong with you?
2:21, Ephesians 6:5, Exodus 21:7-11, Leviticus, all those books you can go find slave. But you know what they do? They look at what you call the revised version. They don't want to look at the old version. They want to look at the revised version so that they could overlook the word slave. The reason why they're doing that is because of cognitive dissonance. It is in the mind, and the brain is a very intricate instrument. When the truth is before a culture, what happens is that the brain is try to find excuse to override the truth so that the culture can reign. And that is the reason why we have this conversation about information. Information is the most critical component to the minds. And when the brother said he's against what I talk about Christianity, because of that culture in his mind, he perceived that Christianity is something that came down from a very long time. Christianity is recent. And as a matter of fact, the first Christians were the followers of Sarpis Christus, right? Though they was called Christian, Sarpis Christ, and then Jesus Christ, right? So Sarpis Christ was the first Christians. And before that, they didn't call themselves Christians, but Hari was sent to Christ-like, meaning Hari Krishna, right, of Hindu. That's why they call it the Abrahamic religion, the Brahmic culture. And so these guys don't know the history because Abraham and Sarah, you don't need to take my word. Google Saraswati. Saraswati is a Hindu goddess. Goddess of wisdom, learning, and understanding. Right? Then they have so many other names that you can find in those Hindu texts that also can align itself with the Bible. So these guys are literally ignorant. And then they're saying that Christianity does not impact the minds because it's a culture. It's a form of information warfare. That's why it is being preached every Sunday, day in, day out. And not only that, Christianity don't teach you about economics. Christianity prepare you to die in order to live. And so all your money emptied into these pockets, 10%. Think of it. 100 million people. 100 million people. And let me do the calculation. 100 million people, right? Contributed $5. You could put it in your own, you could convert it to your own dollar, right? $5. It becomes 500 million. 500 million US in 1 week or a Sunday. I just talked about 100 million people. This is that's on the continent. And some countries got over 200 million people. 100 million people, right? Contributed $5. And that is 1 week multiplied by 52 weeks. There is 26 billion US in 1 year. 26 billion US going to the coffers of these religious enforcers, what you call it, colonizers enforcement, right? This institution, and that administered at a minimum scale. 26 billion US a year multiplied by 10 years. 260 billion US in 10 years. What that could have done for the continent. Think about every country, these people installing factories in these different countries. With $260 billion, every single country in Africa would have had a factory employing thousands of people. But because of our mental condition, we are paying to die in order to live because it was implanted in our minds. Information warfare. Look at the prompt. Your book creates a psychological algorithm that steals your identity. Now you consider, oh, I'm Christian, and they don't matter the color of Jesus. But if I bring a black Jesus in front of you, you can say, oh no, that's not Jesus. You see the minds of our people. He run. The reason why he run is because when you speak the truth oftentimes affect those who have a limited scope within the level of awareness. And once you expand out of that perimeter of awareness, they no longer find comfort in reasoning with you because they don't want to provoke the thought process. But it's not them, it's the brain. The brain has a way of navigating itself around things that will not impact it immensely. And it is emotionally attached to him. Either he's benefiting or he's playing some integral role in the religious industry. And he loves what he's doing. But he don't know what he's doing to the younger generation. Because you are misinforming them, you're misleading them, and tell them to look outside of them for a God that's going to come to save them from what? The God didn't come when all African countries balkanized. God didn't come when Africans were brutally thrown overboard with chains behind their backs. God didn't come to save us when we were working to develop other lands across the globe so that the European could live immensely. But now God is going to come to save you from what? Which one of the gods? There are many. There are thousands of them. You need to educate yourself, my brother. Education is very important. Education through information based on objective reality will empower you. If you're doing that to your generation, then you are culpable of enslaving the minds of the younger people. You cannot tell me that, oh, I'm going to wait until I'm going to take him to church now, wait till he becomes 18, then he can make the decision. Would you carry your children to the brewery shop or to the alcoholic shop and tell him, oh, let us engage in alcohol beverages. When you become of age, you can decide whether or not you want to drink. Or let us have something to puff. The cylindrical stick of narcotic pleasure, and we're going to enjoy at a young age. So when you become of age, you can decide whether or not you want to do that. You're already implanting the seed of destruction in your child's or children's mind at an early stage by forcing them to hold on to a belief rather than seeking knowledge. And that's why this topic is very important for us to engage with other people. Because when you talk about a religion, it's going to trigger them. And the first process is the defense mechanism that is in the brain to ensure that they do not become subjected to things outside the perimeter of awareness. And so it's going to fight back. That's why it's easy to colonize a colonized mind. It is easy to colonize a colonized mind. If a mind is not colonized, you have to beat that person into subjection. But when the mind is colonized, it's easy to navigate them from reality and bring them into a subjective condition to which they follow like wheelbarrow. It is easy. So it is important that we have these kind of conversation, because people will not realize their true potential unless they understand life from an objective perspective. Financial literacies is not being taught in school for a reason. It was done on purpose. They don't want you to understand the value of yourself, the value of your asset, the value of your health. And these things have been carefully navigated from your structure of education. It is done on purpose. Financial literacies, health awareness, economical values of your environments. And that is the reason why we are today where we are. Very few of us managed to get our heads above the water, but not everyone managed to overcome the challenges. It is time that we start this reformation of information. Because if this wasn't, if we were well informed, what is happening in South Africa today would have never happened. If we were well informed, what is happening in Burkina Faso and Mali today would have never happened. If we were well informed, what happened to many of our brothers who have lost their life in process would have never happened. If we were well informed, what happened to Patrice Lumumba, Kwame Nkrumah, Steve Biko, Sangakkara, and many others who have lost their life in the process would have never happened. But because of misinformation, and government of the day are not fighting to change the trajectory of our ideologies, cause the continuation of psychological imprisonment and colonization. It is time that we have these conversations, because the only people who can change your mind is you yourself. You are the destiny. You came into this world by yourself and you're going by yourself. Try to capitalize on every information that is available so that when you leave this world, you don't leave the people who are miseducated, uneducated, or uninformed. Because whatever you do, the greatest legacy for any generation is information. And I'm going to continue to say that if you download the wrong data in the wrong machines, the machines will not function according to structures. We have been misled, misguided, misdirected. It is time that we regain back our consciousness, restructure back our sanity, and regain back our social symbiotic relationship as Africans and as humanity. It is time we rise. And the time is now. No later, no tomorrow. today. If you have the opportunity to seek knowledge, just do it. It is imperative for us to go forward. Thank you.
Oh, well done, brother. Anytime I listen to you, it's refreshing. A lot of people who have not risen to that level of consciousness may not connect with you because I can hear and feel your level of consciousness is a different level. But unfortunately, only few people will be able to align with you. So,
Let me just stop you there quickly because I told Mackenzie to read. Let Mackenzie read one more poem, then we'll go on to deliberation again so we don't lose him totally in between.
okay,
Is that okay?
that's fine.
Okay, Mackenzie. Mackenzie, are you there? Mackenzie? Mackenzie? Okay, I guess Mackenzie is busy doing something. So continue, brother.
Okay, no problem. Thank you. So, yeah, brother, thank you. You know, I was saying that your level of consciousness is on a different level. So don't be surprised that a lot of people may not understand you, which is fine. I remember I watched something that when you said about Mansa Musa, and people may not understand because some people were writing, wow, why do you blame Mansa Musa? You see, this is something that we can learn from. Every civilization, every race have secret code, things that are not shared outside. Every family has it. There are things that you don't show it outside, no matter what. They are sacred. You see, Mansa Musa, up to now, is the most richest person ever lived on the planet Earth. What lesson can we learn from Mansa Musa? Mansa Musa has so much wealth in the form of gold that when he converted to Islam, he was going to Mecca. On the route to Mecca, he was gifting, dashing out so much gold that it destroyed the economies of every, at that time it wasn't a nation, like every state that he passed through. So after that, what happened? The Arabs became consciously aware that, look, where can we have access to this gold so that we too can become rich? And that triggered the first wave of Arabs coming to Africa. What did Arabs do? They came through East Africa because of geographic convenience. And that is when the Arab slave trade started. Right? That's why you go to places like Iraq, Iran, and most of the Arab countries, you see black Arabs. We don't have time to go through details what they did to our ancestors. The men were castrated to become servants of the Arab queens. And then the women became sex slaves for the Arab kings. That went on for years. And then the Europeans also noticed, and this is why it's so significant. Why do people think that Ghana was the first, at that time it wasn't Ghana anyway, but the present day Ghana was the first point of entry by the Portuguese because of that navigation? Because Ghana sits on top of the equator, the Greenwich Meridian, yeah? Because they were using that navigation, okay? They were looking for gold because of Mansa Musa. And that's when, and then when so they were actually looking for Mali, but because of the landlocked situation, they couldn't, and they landed in Ghana. Okay, they named Ghana Gold Coast then, but that's not the topic here. You see, one of our brothers came in to defend Christianity. It's very pathetic, but at the same time very sensitive. And I personally sometimes try to reason with our brothers and sisters who are still stuck in that mentality, because it's not easy when something that has been used to colonize your ancestors for 500 years, it becomes part of you. It's just like I said, like somebody said, Stockholm syndrome. Stockholm syndrome, people don't know briefly, is when somebody abuses you so much that even when you are emancipated, you are taken away from your abuser, you still feel and that you need you want to go back because you owe something to your abuser. And that's what we are doing. You see, religion, I wouldn't say Christianity, religion in the lives of Africans, we need to question it. This is a very sensitive area of discussion, but we got to talk about it. Just cast our minds across the globe, the world. What civilization has been able to rise, prosper, if it does not? Or let me put it another way. There's no civilization that has been able to rise to realize its dreams or goals, aspiration, if it worships the God and the gods of another civilization. It doesn't work like that. Indians worship their own God. It is Hindu, Buddhism, and some, of course, worship Islam. Let me put it point blank. Christianity is not African. Islam is not African. But look at how much blood has been spilled in the names of these two religions on the soil of Africa. By the way, the first slave ship that left on the shores of the present-day Ghana, then Gold Coast, was called Jesus. You see, if you get stuck into the existing narratives, norms, and systems, it doesn't help you to elevate yourself to become conscious of the issues that affect you. And unfortunately, that is what we Africans, we go through every day. We're going to the weekend now. Tomorrow, Saturday, go to across Africa. Adventists, they spend the whole day. Yeah. We're not saying that we don't value spirituality, but it has to be African oriented. Then Sunday will come, the whole Africa. And I left today, Friday, the same thing, Muslims. I mean, let's look at this way. For those who think African Muslims, I mean, when you go to Mecca and all those places, how do you get treated, by the way? Let me put it that way. And for those Christians, you see, this is a very sensitive and difficult to hear, but we got to talk about it. I always ask myself, So we fight over all these religions, Islam, on Christianity, all those things. But even on the planet Earth, people who do not want to accept you as equals, who don't want to, they don't see you as equal to them. So when this narrative of heaven has been presented to us, when we go to that heaven, are we going to have segregation of race or not? You see, one thing Christianity or one thing that religion does is it doesn't make you become critical thinker. And if you are not critical thinker, you don't ask questions. You see, we are where we are for a reason. The white man came to Africa. The first thing they did was to destroy the civilization. Is it coincidence that you go to most of the Western museums and then you're looking for artifacts? Yeah? You see loads of ancient African artifacts. Things that in even a modern craftsman, artist, they will struggle to design. But about 500 years ago, typically the Benin bronze, I mean, yeah, and many more. Because for somebody to dispossess you, first of all, the person has to make you believe that you are nothing. Take away your dignity, right? Which is systemic erasure, right? So actively seeking to erase your history, your culture, your governance systems, and to justify their colonialism. That is exactly what they did. So they came in, they said everything about Africa is evil. And that's why you see why Jesus you want to worship, you see anything black, you want to distance yourself from it. That is psychological degradation. Right? Then, after that, what did they do? Arbitrary border creation and dividing of our identity, which started from Berlin Conference 1884. Right? So you go to Nigeria. Prior to that, you may have strong kingdoms. Yoruba kingdom, Benin kingdom flourishing. You have the Igbo kingdom flourishing. You have the houses spreading all the way to the present day Niger, most part of the present day Chad, and across that area. Yeah, flourishing. And even part of northern Ghana, right? Flourishing with well-structured education, governance, trade systems. So, in order to perpetually put you at the level where you will struggle to rejuvenate, they divide. So, in the case of Nigeria, for example, you put the divide and you have the present-day Benin Republic. Yeah. Then you have joining Igbos, Biafras, Yorubas together, kingdoms that have been fighting among each other for centuries. Then all of a sudden they say you are one country, whether you like it or not. And then in the northern Nigeria, you have the the Niger side, and then the northern, they are houses. Traditionally, ethnicity, everything, they are the same, but politically, yeah. they found themselves in different countries. This has caused massive nightmare, atrocities, post-independent. Rwanda issue, the same thing, Burundi, Rwanda, and all. You see, Ghana, for example, similar thing happened, but Ghana is so fortunate that after independence, Ghana was so lucky to have a forward-thinking president who was able to put systems and measures in place for social integration. I'm not saying Ghana do not have ethnic tensions, but what unite Ghana, bond Ghana, is stronger than what divide because of that policy Nkrumah did. But unfortunately, some African leaders after independence, they went back to that pre-colonial era mentality, fighting each other, right? Then what next? Distortion of pre-colonial history. We've talked about it. You see, Africa, there's this saying that if an elderly African die, a whole library is buried, right? Because we do oral history. We don't do documentary history as the other civilizations do. This, you see, if you take us back to the ancient Egyptian civilization, we used to have that, but because the Arabs dispossessed us, so when we were running, our ancestors were running away, being chased away by the Arabs, yeah, the present day occupants of northern Africa, they couldn't have the chance to take all this with them. The pyramids and all these things, a lot of treasures are hidden underneath. They did their best, So then our ancestors, what they could do was oral history, passing on their knowledge. So if you are a scholar, a young person who wants to do any research, I think this is the time that every village that you go to, there are elderly people who have generational knowledge, history. So this is the time for us to write these things down for the next generation to take, because oral history is not sustained, cannot be sustained. Yeah. Then we have the dominance of the media and single story, the dark continent stereotype. We have the white savior syndrome. I remember the first time I came to Europe. Then I look at the media. Then as I look at the news, I saw all these children with these white flies on their mouth. I said, what is this? To be honest with you, I started asking other Africans I met. This was my early years in Europe. That, do you see these things in your countries? I'm not saying those things are, but the level of exaggeration, you see, and this is also if you have a child in the diaspora, you got to sit that young person down and explain this thing, break it down to them. Otherwise, it's dehumanizing. Their self-esteem is being taken away. Yeah, they may be born here, but because of what they see on the television, yeah, they don't want to have anything to do with even that continent. So you got to also do a strategic parenting by explaining to your kids, telling them the right history. You see, and then the white savior mentality narrative. You see, I remember this also. I think this was in the early 2007 or so. I was watching the news and I saw Prince Harry and Prince William. To be honest with you, I cherish them. Yeah. So this is not personal attack to them. I'm using them just because of this conversation. Then they were in Malawi, and then they were in a farm, and I remember them saying, "Oh, they were teaching the African Malawians how to do organic farming." Listen to this: Prince Harry, Prince William, in Malawi, Africa, teaching farmers how to do organic farming. Does that click? Has anybody seen Prince William and Prince Harry in a farm before? When you talk about organic farming, I mean, our forefathers have been doing organic farming for centuries. You see, but if you don't believe in yourself and you allow people to come and tell you what to do, this is what happened. You see, so all these charities and all those things, look, it's about time Africa start to believe in itself. Yeah. Solutions. Yeah. We need to have think tanks. We need to have resources to restore some of the archives. Thankfully, now we are in the era of AI. We can recreate the stories of ancient Africans. For example, the Benin bronze, we can use 3D to recreate them. Yeah? This is what we can do to restore the confidence, the self-esteem, the values of Africa and Black race. Yeah? From there, then we need to
You don't
also...
mind me jumping in? Hey,
Okay.
I don't know if if we can speak to or what.
Host.
Hold on. I got this.
Host,
Excuse me.
I've sent a WhatsApp
No,
message.
wait.
I've sent a message in
I
your inbox. Can you check it out? Just
okay.
check it. Just
Okay, I
it's
get
very.
what you're saying. No problem, King. Go ahead and finish. But yeah, you need to answer the prompt and wrap it up. Martin Luther King. I don't know how long you've been speaking, and
I'm
neither do
just
that
finishing it.
gentleman.
I'm just finishing
No,
it.
you're fine. You're fine. Don't let nobody rush you. If they got a problem, they don't need to be on this panel. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So we need to reclaim the narrative. Yeah. That's why these obstacles, they are still growing. An active effort to reclaim our narrative. I was using AI as an example, a tool. But at the same time, we need to also think about the next generation of Africans who will be in charge of creating the tools and the systems that we can use, because at the moment we don't have the ownership of all these tools and the systems. If somebody wants to restrict us from accessing ChatGPT, Deep Think, and all those things, you see, but we got to have African narrative, African solution to Africa's problems, right? It's work in progress. Wrapping up, finally, I want to again go back to Nigeria. The Nollywood, yeah, the Nollywood. We need to appreciate what they are doing. Sometimes I think the issue about this spirituality voodoo thing, I know it creates impact in terms of the clicks, but got to look at the impact as well. You see, how do we create movies that tells the story of, for example, ancient ancient Yoruba kingdoms, ancient Hausa kingdoms, ancient kings in Rwanda, South Africa. You see, so that it's something that will bind the continent and the diasporans together. I'm looking forward to a movie that will share or tell the story about the transatlantic slave trade as it was. Yeah? To create that emotional impact.
Brother,
Thank you.
we did something on this platform one time. We had a discussion on this platform that deals with cultural continuity. Understand me? I think that is something we should delve into a lot more. That shows the similarities in African culture across the continent and also that extend beyond to the diaspora, to the Caribbean, to America. I'll give you an example. Like this practice of Ifa system. People when people see here Ifa, they think it is synonymous to only the Yorubas. But I bet you if you go to across the whole West African culture and spirituality, they all have this is Ifa system whereby you throw cowries on the ground, you draw the two binary lines, and you interpret all those information that is passed through those writings and everything they did on the floor there. It's across every African culture whereby they mystically tell the future and through these cowries or beads that is spread on the floor, and then they read it and they draw these two lines and they read it, and those things they do. It is across almost every African culture, and
Yeah, they
so
really had it down in New Orleans, Afrobeats, but they destroyed New
yeah, I know.
Orleans for that.
Even in Brazil, Cuba, and other places, this culture spread, and almost every African culture they have this. So I think we should portray these similarities. That will open up the mind of Africans to know that we are really the same people. Because we always think the similarity is differs, is too no. There's not much similarities. Even the language is so connected. These are the things we need to portray so that somebody in South Africa or somebody in Angola will not think they are far away from each other. No, it's just cultural continuity. As the people flow further, they learn more. They spread the culture and they learn new. They evolve differently, but the basics of the culture is the same thing.
Yeah, we did that before.
That culture is playing.
Go ahead, Martin, was you done, sir? So the gentleman could speak, please.
Yes, I'm done. Thank you.
Are you welcome? Go ahead, she.
Yeah, so that
Sure.
pride and cultural pride is our problem. When they divided these country lines, they made sure you look at Nigeria, right? There's 5 major tribes in Nigeria. The Hausas, they cut them in half. Hausas are in Niger and in Nigeria. The Igbo, and that was because the strategy they used within these countries was divide and conquer, right? Get this one tribe to fight the other tribe.
But that's a 5 major tribe of a thing that they start projecting is just pure nonsense, because I was telling you from the earlier stage, empires like the Benin empires, the Gala empires, they were huge empires,
Yes.
and some of them are not. The Benin are not counted. You have the Benin, the Oyo empires, the Igala empires, the Benin empires, and other empires are there they were huge in Nigeria, and now you are counting 3 major tribes or 5 major tribes. Some nonsense.
Yeah, but the lines were meant to cut these tribes between 2 countries, right? So that's playing against us now because we have to unify. When we talk about Pan-Africanism, we have to give up the tribes. I'm sorry. I know that's our traditions. But the tribal, we know what happened in
No,
Rwanda,
I
right?
don't think we have to give. I don't think we have to give up the pride. What I think is we have to show the similarities. We have to do more and to inform about the cultural continuity, how this tribe move and continue to. They moved, they migrated, settled here, and evolved. They evolve with that continuity differently, but the basic is still the same. So if we're able to show these things, that will. Look, I'll give you an example.
Yeah, go ahead.
If I know I'm an Idoma man, but the root of Idoma is somewhere, maybe in Otupo, and my people migrated and settled somewhere, and we still have the basic Idoma there, but we speak it in a different way. I will say somebody from Otupo are still my brother. I just feel we are continuity of them.
Yeah,
So
yeah, but the
if we're able to show this properly and portray it properly and people educate people on that, then black people will see the connection within them.
yeah, but the problem is those tribes were forms of government, right? This was essentially, it wasn't a map, but this was a country. This is this tribe where they are. Now we go into a different system where you have multiple different tribes within the country that claim to be Ghanaian, Nigerians, but within you still have that separation because of the tribal that was meant to be a form of government for that tribe. And so if we either got to move forward or we say in the past stay divided
Well,
because
okay, we need to, first of all, we need to understand what our ancestors understood that we are missing out on. Go back to history. Go back when they were doing these things with empire, conquering other land. They were just conquering. But remember then, when they were conquering, they didn't force you to practice their own way of life. They didn't force you to speak their language. They didn't force you to live the God you're worshiping. They didn't force you to to change your way of life. The idea of forcing people to speak their language or enforcing their religion or enforcing their way of life or the way they eat food started with colonization. So what did our ancestors understood that made them, okay, now I've conquered you, but you only pay tax to me, but you can live your way of life. What do they understand that made them let people be who they are? What do they understand that the Westerners didn't understand? That caused all the chaos that we have in now.
That would depend on what they are really after. If you take most of the time, they were actually looking for territories and army. What they were actually looking for is either gold or your army. So, for example, the main purpose for something like NATO and even the EU today is actually to bring you together so that in the countries you have they can have access to the large army which every countries have at the same time. So if you look at EU, they don't really the EU side, they don't really have any resource like that. But the EU as a whole, the core purpose is actually so that in times of war, they will now actually be able to mobilize the army of those countries when they want. So,
but you're missing the point.
It depends on what they really want. If they,
but no, it's all about.
Let me finish. If they come to your country right now, for example, they come and you are good at goldsmith, and then they conquer you, and then they dismantle your goldsmith structure. No, you wouldn't. Then, what they are really after is maybe your gold or your melting.
But what we are discussing, how do they want to dominate you with their culture, their way of life, their language, and everything? But our ancestors
are all tools of enslavement. So, for example, the language we are speaking now is not our language.
But the question is, why didn't our ancestors, even though when they were conquering each other, or when they civilized Spain, why is it not in our ancestors to want to dominate you with their language, your way of life? Why do they let you to be who you are? What is why did these things be like? Why didn't they behave like white people to dominate you with their culture, their spirituality, and everything? Why did they leave you to be who you are?
Colonizers dominate the people with their culture. Is that a question?
No, our ancestors. Remember, let me make something clear to you.
Okay.
Remember, our ancestors civilized Europe 2 times.
Yeah.
And the Europeans.
Is it retaliate or something? I sent you a
Europeans.
Video.
No, Europeans colonized Africa 2 times. Understand me? There are two different languages. One is civilized, one colonized. The civilized, you build up. The colonized, you take down. Understand me? Now, when our ancestors civilized Spain, they went there. They didn't force them to speak their language. They didn't force them to follow their God. They didn't force them to do anything. They let them be who you are. They only showed them, oh, you need to take a shower. You need to behave like this. You need to be noble. When they came to us, they said, stop everything you're doing. Stop your way of life. This is how this is what God looks like. This is the best language you should speak. This is how you should dress. This is how you should eat. So they change the person. So why did our ancestors think this way and they're like this?
Now you have to get the question. You have to actually get it right. These are two separate people. Until today, our approach in doing things is two different ways. We are.
The question is why?
Yes, that's
why?
it is just who we are. We are compassionate. The second question which will come is, why is it that after we have been colonized and we've seen the damage that colonization can do to people, till today Africa still open our hands to these foreigners? That simply means that it's
But
just.
don't you think maybe our ancestors have knowledge of what these people don't have? Maybe they know the damage and destruction.
We are compassionate and we don't learn from history. Somebody said the only thing we learn from history is we don't learn anything from history. And Mark Twain. You understand?
Can I ask you a question then, sir? With that being said, and I want to ask the elders, because I'm an elder, then isn't it our duty as elders to keep those ancestors that they unalive alive in our children and our grandchildren's head for fighting as well purposes and for the accurate information? Isn't it our duty for that as elders?
Our own was to pass on information through oral. We had our means of passing on information. You understand? So it is in as much as it is our duty. We thought we will convince ourselves that everything will last forever so long as we are there. But you see, these white guys, they brought in writing and another mode of preserving stuff, which
Okay,
I think.
Stop. Stop.
No,
They didn't bring writing. We were writing before they came.
Exactly.
but
That
in
is
advance,
misinformation.
we may
Thank
disagree
you,
with that.
Afrobiz.
We had writing before they come. We had the CBDs. We had all forms of. We had the
Thank
Bermuda script.
you.
We had all forms of writing
You
before
are
they
right.
come. Egypt, we were writing.
You are very,
Ethiopians, we were
you are
writing.
very right, but we must agree that they advanced it.
They didn't advance nothing.
Okay.
They didn't advance nothing.
Oh, see, this is the
The
type
writing,
of
the
elders
writing
I
form
don't
was
listen
the,
to.
the writing forms were advanced. They only force you to leave yours and follow theirs. The writing forms were advanced. They didn't.
Afrobiz.
No, what
You
I
need to
mean
be
was
in the
that
comments to learn.
I'm not imposing anything. What I mean was that in terms of preservation of those information, it looks as if they did a better job.
They didn't do any better job, bro.
Wow, this dude.
And
Let me explain to you.
Okay.
Hold on. What you call
Okay.
paper today?
Okay.
Hold on.
Go on.
Story. What we call paper today started in Egypt. It's called papyrus. Paper started from there. They were writing in paper. They had libraries. They were storing books in Mali, in other parts of Africa. We stored information. Then we went into storing information in arts, like the Benin Kingdom, the Oyo Kingdom, the Ashantis. They stored information in art. So we are on an advanced level. For me, I think this where we are right now is we fall from grace to this level. We are climbing back up. I think this is a deterioration. I think where they were before, we are far away. We have not even gotten there. We don't understand where they are before.
Afrobiz.
Because
And I
if
bet-
you're talking about library, it started there. School started, first university is in Africa.
I agree with you, but I'm just saying that how come now it looks as if it is what they are pushing back on us, that what they are like the president of Rwanda would say, they will come and take our coffee, go and bless it and bring it back. You heard
Brother.
that this thing. So
But listen,
Yeah.
if somebody cuts you off what you know for over 500 years, over 500 years, the people who had the knowledge has passed to him. They forced them not to pass the knowledge on. So let me give you an analogy. Go to the jungle, take a lion, understand me, capture a lion, put that lion in the cage, stop the lion from hunting, stop the lion from eating meat. Only what you feed that lion is papers. You feed that lion just papers. The lion will reject. After so many years, after a long time of hunger, he will be forced to start eating that paper because that's the only way he needs to survive. Now that lion dies, that lion have child in that cage, dies. The children grew up knowing how to eat only paper for so many years. One day you woke up and you say, "No, I'm tired." One of your generation in the future wake up and say, "No, I'm tired of this lion. I'm tired of taking care of this lion." He takes the lion. Your place is in the jungle. Go in the jungle and survive. If he drops that lion in the jungle, what kind of lion do you think he left in the jungle? It's a fool.
A paper eating lion.
He's a fool, paper eating lion. He doesn't know how to hustle, doesn't know how to jungle. He will be struggling to survive. Maybe eventually have a child. The child is still a paper eating fool, but now he's beginning to learn how to live in the jungle. So it's going to take that the generation years and years and years and years to start researching themselves and finding out, oh, I'm a lion. I'm supposed to know how to hunt.
Your knowledge is perfectly accepted. But we, in this regard, we Africans, we have not even started, eh? You realize that
We have started, brother. We have started.
Okay, all right.
We have started.
Okay,
We have started.
you know what you have to do.
We have started. That's why we are beginning to ask these questions. That's why we are having this discussion. We have started. That's why we have had the likes of Kwame Nkrumah, because they know. You know why? I know we have started. That's why they go after any of those leaders that's thinking in that perspective. They unalive them because they don't want us to fully go back to that perspective. The likes of Kwame Nkrumah and all the rest of them that are thinking in that direction, they go after them because they know if we connect to that past aspect of us, finish. If we find ourselves, finish.
Which brings me to the next question, my brother. This kind of a team.
I gotta correct you right now. The English language was
Just a
created.
question which always
No,
makes me that.
no, you need to be corrected as an elder
Okay, all right.
because you don't
Go
be
on.
teaching, right? So you said that they advanced the English language, which was our language in Kemet first. Now that they call Europe, okay, and they stole it from us, and I'm putting it.
Totally
Okay,
agreed.
okay. So how are they more advanced when they keep stealing it and labeling it their own? Everything. Let me explain this little part to you before you continue speaking, because I want to rehearse your memory. Obviously, your memory needs to go back before they even came, and all the things that they've stolen. They've never been intelligent. They've been pillagers. So I'm gonna give you that, and I'm gonna see where you go with that sentence alone. Go ahead, sir.
Before you go ahead, I sent you a message in your inbox. If you could play that one back, it will really, really help us. It's in your this TikTok.
Is that the question you want to ask? Or you want to go? I'll check it out while I check it out.
No,
You have a question you wanted to.
the question I wanted to ask is that this kind of a case, and this might be, maybe you might say it might go a little bit off, but this case where some of us with a little freedom we have now, like unfortunately, I have to use the case of as make a case like a case for them not to keep on attacking us, like, oh, we're
Brother,
right. If we give them power, they
brother,
will destroy more things. Or
brother,
Africans can't handle
the
power.
problem we have, hold on. The problem we have is
I
we
haven't said
want the
anything.
process of getting back ourselves to be smooth. It's never going to be smooth. It's going to go through ups and downs, and the ups and downs is a learning process. It's a process we are working through. So we are trying to understand each other. At the point we'll get it right. Nothing will ever be perfect, but this is a process. Mackenzie, hold on.
Okay, but you got what I'm asking. If right
Yeah,
now
I got you.
we are fighting each other, assuming this is more
It's
power, assuming they give us big power, or they give Ghana,
brother,
let's say Ghana, Nigeria, and South Africa nuclear bombs.
brother.
What do you
Have you
think?
read the history of Europe? Have you read the history of Europe?
Yes,
Before they
I've
get
read.
back,
I've read a
before,
lot of them.
before they got to where they went through a process of unaliving each other non-stop. That's why they have
Okay,
little tribe.
it's true.
It's a process.
All right, all right.
Mackenzie, are you there? I was calling you to Mackenzie, are you there?
I'm here. I'm here. I was listening.
Hey,
I called you
Mackenzie.
several times before to read one more point, then we go into discussion. But okay, can you go with two, and then we discuss the two, and then we continue again and have more discussion. Keep the crowd going.
Yes, I have a lot to plan for today. I have a plan on my notebook. I already picked the one I want to.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be too monotonous. So you do two now. We go back to discussion. Then we continue again. Then we do other two. So we do it all through like that. So you have a lot of more points. And new audience will always get to. Okay, let's get what you got now.
Okay. This poem is called, again, my name is Mackenzie the Poet, and my website is mackenziepoet.com. This poem is called Haiti, Where Are You? Remember, are you guys ready? Afrobears, you forgot to do this. Remember to...
All right, guys. If we are paying attention to Mackenzie, please, I want us to put a 1 in the comment section. If we are listening and we want to hear more, let's put a 1 in the comment section. A 1. Just write a 1. Number 1. I'll be that first example. Just put in number 1 in the comment section. We've been doing it the whole day. If you're listening, put a 1. Type number 1. Type 1 in the comment section. Are we sleeping? 1, yes, good. Let's put a 1. Let's put a 1 in the comment section. Mackenzie, there's 1 going on. Thank you very much. If you're listening, we are the 32 people in the comment section on the panel here. Are you guys sleeping? Yes. We had about 32 people, and I just see I've seen a few 1. Are you sleeping? Mackenzie has been dropping
We are warming up.
very interesting poems from time to time. So I want to see a king. I'm not seeing a 1 yet.
Bro, I've dropped 1 there. Huh?
Oh, all right. Okay, Mackenzie. Okay, I see more 1s now. Mackenzie. Okay, let's go now. We've got some 1s.
All right. This poem is called Haiti, Where Are You? Haiti, where are you? I have to say it again. Haiti, where are you? I have been calling you for a long time, but you never answered me. Maybe it's because the Haitian people have killed you, but forgot arguing for nothing. Maybe it's because they have the so-called politicians and people, and lie with the politicians, have stolen the poor's money, stealing the poor's money, even killing for money. Well,
Mackenzie, stop saying that K word.
oh, my bad.
Yeah, right, I know you forgot.
Even unalive for money. Is that better?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
The whole fighting with the Haitians against each other, basically, it's a long history. Haiti, where are you? Well, it's basically a class of different nationalities and cultures, mainly in Africa. Because the whole slavery thing, people were taken from different countries, from Africa, different nationalities, different tribes. That's why there's so many clashes. And when the independence was being formed, Haiti, where are you? The independence was being formed. It was different people. It was mostly people of African descent. There are also many mixed race people between Africans and Europeans, different Europeans and different Africans. And like I said, mostly people of African descent, many people of European descent, the Polish. That's their whole history. You gotta go read the history. And some whites. Like I said, Haiti, where are you? I've been calling you for a long time, but you never answered. It looks like the Haitians in the country have sold the country for a piece of bread. I do not know what happened that has made you not want to answer me. Haiti, where are you? Despite all that the Haitians have done to you, you still stay strong more than ginger tea. One day, all countries will be surprised to see the riches that you have at home. And by the way, when the independence happened, remember I told you all these people that came together from different backgrounds? The leader, Jean-Jacques Dessalines, he was like, nah, man, I'm classifying everybody as black. Oh, man, that was funny when I was reading that. Anyway, everyone agreed. But now there's an issue now. One day, every other country will be surprised to see all the riches that you have at home. Haiti, I do not have to continue to call you. Where are you? Because I see you are starting to walk to come to me. Thank you. Haiti, where are you? Thank you.
Thank you, Mackenzie.
You're welcome, Ms. D. And Afrobeats, you say 2x2, right?
Hey, Brigadier. Greetings, brother.
Afrobeats, are you there?
Yo, what's up? Oh yeah.
I'm wonderful. Biz, are you
Yeah.
still there? Mackenzie asking for you.
Huh?
I thought Alpha Biz was still there. Mackenzie was just asking for him.
I guess I'll
Brigadier,
continue.
did you? Yes, go ahead, continue.
This one is called Being Scared of Your Own People. Same thing again. Are you guys ready?
You ready?
Tell the people to put the one if they're listening. Miss D.
No, go ahead, Mackenzie, because I don't want people to start leaving, so just continue.
Okay. Can you imagine this? Man, being scared of your own people. That sucks. How can I be scared of my own Haitian people? Well, the crap I hear my own people are doing to each other piss me off and makes me want to give up on them. Sometimes I ask myself, do any of you journalists have anything positive to say about the land of our ancestors? Do you have anything positive to say or do you not, to balance out the negatives? For example, there was an AIDS scare that said AIDS, the disease called AIDS, started with Haitians. Why do they keep showing all the bad places in Haiti? Why do they keep punishing Haiti for getting independence January 1st, 1804? You wanna know why? Because they break that chain of slavery. They said, hell no. And that opened the door for all the other countries to get their independence. Why show that every revolution is to oust the government? Is it because of the Haitians' fault? Why show that all the Haitians are poor, living in huts? Why show the Haitians that Haitians are savages that will kill, unalive for food or unalive for food or any reason at all? Why are you making me scared of my own people? I hate the fear aspect of being scared of my own people. Like they're going to pull out a gun or beat me up and steal my stuff. Why do the United States and all the powerful countries and almost every US president, with the exception of Abraham Lincoln and a few others, want to keep Haiti poor? They must be free. The words explain for itself. This is my sincere prayer for my faith. This is my sincere prayer for Haiti and its people. Oh Lord, Father God, through your Son, Jesus Christ, I would like to leave the nation of Haiti in your hands. May everyone with a connection to Haiti, foreigners, and your global church get on their knees with their heads bowed, with eyes closed, raise their voice together to pray for the deliverance of Haiti. May Haiti and its people from all corners of the earth, called Haitians, be free from all evil and demonic powers. After hundreds of years of misfortunes, may you turn it all around for your glory. May all of Haiti and its people testify to all other nations after its deliverance forever, until you come again for your children churches from all nations, people, tribe, race, color, and language, and etc. May the people of Haiti and its people rise out of the bondage, shackles, chains, rise out of the ashes, just like the nation of Israel. May all the enemies of Haiti mouth be muzzled like a bulldog. For example, yes, there are examples. France government, not the French people. The Dominican government, not the Dominican people. The United States government, not the American people. Canada's government, not the Canadian people. The United Nations government, not the visitors. And all others that are hidden inside and out. May they all soon look at Haiti in the face, but their mouths be and their tongues be muzzled like a bulldog, but can't do squat to Haiti. Before all that, please people, please church, don't just say you staying, praying at the church only. Take action, please. Do not disappoint me. I'm getting disappointed here. Do not disappoint me. Don't just say you're staying at the church to pray. Take action. May your name be glorified. In Jesus' name, amen. Thank you.
All right, guys. Do we have a question for Mackenzie? Anybody with a question concerning the poem?
Right at the moment.
Yeah, Mackenzie,
King, you want to ask a
can I
question?
ask you a
D, you want to ask a
question?
question?
Where do you get your where's the motivation? Where do you get your motivation from? Okay, that's even
Excuse me. I get
motivation for the
actually
It's actually
when I can't sleep at night, I have to get up and write something. But the thing is, well, I live with my parents. I live with my family. You know, mother, father, sister. Yeah, they don't believe me, so I have to find a way to go back to sleep because I don't. When I turn on the light to start writing, they start an argument. So I don't want an argument. So I have to find a way to go back to sleep. And so in other times, I would listen to music, and in other times it would be an experience that I have, and I just write it down. Does that answer your question?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
more questions. Okay, Mackenzie, you want to do one more poem before we go into discussion?
Sure. All right. This poem is called "Where Am I?"
I think, Mackenzie, I think,
Yes.
Malenga was asking you to do Zimbabwe. Did you have one called Zimbabwe next time? He said one for Zimbabwe next time.
She has to keep reminding me every time we go on the panel. How's that? Then I will know she's really serious. How's that? Does that answer your question? Hello?
I think he wanted you to read about Zimbabwe next time, or when next time, like you just told him. So I guess he got it. I'm not him, so yeah, I guess he understands.
No, the thing is, I'm trying to help the panel out too. I want him to keep coming back in the panel. So, I want him to keep reminding me because I don't want him to just be at one time. I'm trying to help Half Beats.
No, he's a regular. He's community.
Oh, okay.
He's
What's
been
his
here
name?
from the very beginning. He
What's his
wanted
name?
you, Malenga.
Malenga.
Yeah, Malenga's been here, Mackenzie.
Well, the thing is, I would have to, because some poems come easily, but some poems take time to bring. Yeah.
All right. Cool. Greetings, Think Critical.
Greeting, my sister. Good to be here. Thanks for the invite.
Most definitely. Give us 1 minute, and after Mackenzie, then I don't know if Brigadier went, and then you could go. Most
No
definitely.
problem.
And I'm researching these. Oh, I want to go deep on this one.
All right. This poem is called "Where Am I?" Oh, wow. Where am I? Oh my Lord. Maybe it is a dream. I still do not understand. I look and I see many groups of Africans, multiracials, Arabs, Europeans, Asians, Hispanic, Indians, and Jews. People that come every race. Sits down at a table and giving jokes. I say, guys, what makes you all connected like this? They say to me, that's because we are from the same country. I asked them, where am I? Yo tout répondre et dit, c'est la caille là. They all answered me and say, you are at home. I started laughing and I say, come on, stop playing, guys. They say, what do you think you are? I say, I must be in Germany. Because I see there are beautiful beaches, gardens, beautiful cars, beautiful airports, beautiful schools, beautiful hospital, beautiful people, beautiful houses, beautiful streets, and etc. Where am I? Well, then I must be in Japan. It has to be Japan. Because I see on the table there are many ethnic foods, such as du coulé à pois, bouillon, diri, sauce pois noir, sauce pois blanc, du jonjon, légumes, griot, et banane frite. Qui côté moi là? Where am I? I must be in Italy. Because these guys take a plate of something they call pumpkin soup. They call soup jumu, which is translated to pumpkin soup. And they say, drink, and you'll see where you are. I started to drink that soup jumu, and then I say, man, that is better than lasagna. I said, wait, I will tell you where I am, but you have to pour me another plate of pumpkin soup. Thank you.
Awesome, Mackenzie. That was awesome.
Thank you, Misty.
So much, Mackenzie. You know I'm smiling inside even though I'm researching. But I'm like, Mackenzie, come up here with the thunder all the time. We appreciate you, brother.
I appreciate you too.
Alphabet, did you want to move on or what do you want to do?
He wanted to after every two poems for people to ask questions.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't have any questions right now because I'm these questions on the prompt is enough. And I'm just waking up, so I don't have any questions at the moment.
Not only you, but people
Anybody have any questions for Mackenzie? No, I think we're gonna get back to the prompt, okay, Mackenzie?
okay.
All right. Well, thank you so much, brother.
But the thing is, he's gonna
Oh,
he
somebody asked. Hold
he's gonna
on.
take a break and then we come back to me again. So that's why he does it.
Okay.
As in,